Hello, welcome to the Advocator. My name is Demetrius Parson, and I am the host for today. And we want to share with you, just give you some awareness about what's going on in our community and what affects our society. And today, our topic will be on sickle cell. So we don't want you to go anywhere. Just wait one moment, and we'll be right back.
Yo, this is a story about human rights. For those that don't know, you need to. Yo, a starving artist, but his lyrics sold worldwide. His friend and manager was a snake in disguise, and he was bitten. His song sold without his permission. Saw his record on the shelf, the snake had stolen his vision. But knowing his rights, he could protect himself. Fair treatment by fair courts, he got the law to help. The other dude just sunk weak, looked like a punk. Could hardly open his mouth to speak, popping that jump. You better get up, stand up if you've been done wrong. You better stand up for your rights like that Marley song. Get yourself represented, lawfully defended. Know your human rights, don't ever surrender. No, don't ever surrender. Yeah. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Advocator. Once again, my name is Demetrius Parson, and I'm your host today. And our subject for today is going to be on sickle cell. And I have three people that I want them to actually introduce themselves, and we'll just share some information with you. We'll start at the far end. If you could just give us your name.
Hi, my name is Joshua Collins.
Okay, Josh,
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Eaton.
Elizabeth. We'll call her Liz.
Yes.
Hi, Dee. My name is Minister Cynthia Collins.
Okay, so we have a family here of the mother, the son, and the daughter. And just, give us some information. I need to know exactly what sickle cell is.
Well, sickle cell disease is a blood disorder that affects the shape of the red blood cells. Normally, red blood cells are shaped in an oval manner, but with sickle cell, the blood cells are shaped in a crescent or a moon, if you would, shape. That prevents the blood from flowing in a normal way. It clots
Okay.
in the blood vessels, causing pain and discomfort.
Okay, all right. And how did you find out? How did you guys find out about this disease?
Well, when Josh was born, Josh is one of my two sons. When he was born, about 2 weeks after he came home from the hospital, I received a phone call saying, "Your son has sickle cell disease." And I'm like, "What?" And after newborn screening, all babies now are tested for certain diseases and disorders when they're born, which is what they call newborn screening.
Okay.
During that process, sickle cell was tested, and he came back positive.
Wow, wow. Now, what were you thinking at that time when you say sickle cell? Because I've heard of the disease before, but I'm like, how serious is that?
Sickle cell is a very debilitating disease. It is primarily to people of color, African Americans, or people around Mediterranean countries as well. You have to have two carriers, mom and dad, both have to give a gene, a sickle cell
Okay.
gene, in order for the child to actually have the disease. You have a 25% chance, 1 in 4 chance, that your child, when both parents have a gene for sickle cell, 1 in 4 chance that that child will come out with sickle cell disease, which is what happens. But it can be very debilitating, and over time it becomes more and more dangerous, if you would, for that sickle cell patient.
Okay, and what type of treatments have Josh went through?
Because of his various illnesses, he's been hospitalized many times, almost 100 at this point. He's 25 years old, and been hospitalized many times just for viruses, fevers, things of that nature. Usually what they do when he goes into the hospital, they treat him with IV fluids because once again, the blood vessels tend to clot and clog, and so they give them IV fluids to cause the blood to flow more freely. They'll treat him with oxygen also because, again, red blood cells carry oxygen. And so when you have a male-shaped cells, then you're not carrying oxygen in the manner that you should. And so they'll treat him with oxygen. And then he's given pain medications to ease the discomfort.
Wow, wow. It seems like you've been through a lot. Let me talk to Liz. Like, how does this actually affect the whole family?
Well, we worry, of course. I mean, you hear that a loved one that you, a person in your family that you love is not well. It concerns you quite a bit. But, I mean, we get through it. We're just there to support them. We visit them, and we just try to be there. That's the best support that you can be, is if you be there for whoever your loved one is, for you to simply just be there. They know that even if you're just sitting by their bedside, they just need to know that they feel loved and support. That's one of the, in my opinion, one of the important components of healing is to feel rested mentally. Is a big, and Josh could even, I'm sure he could attest to that, being able to just rest mentally and allow your body to heal itself. And so, as a family member, I get stressed when he goes into the hospital.
A lot of praying.
A whole lot of praying. A whole lot of praying, but, and when someone in your family is going through something, it forces you to read and to understand things better. It forces you to learn, basically. And so that's what has happened with Josh, but most importantly, as a family member, just providing support for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else in the family? Like, is it something that may be hereditary or?
Sickle cell anemia is hereditary. That is one of the components. That's how you, as Minister Collins explained, it is a hereditary disease. It's passed through the genes from two sickle cell carriers, if you will, carriers of the trait, actually. And so you figure one out of every four children that you have has the potential of receiving the sickle cell gene. And so we're a series, if you will, of 9. But we kind of beat the odds. Yeah, it's 9 of us. We kind of beat the odds in the sense that Josh is the 5th child. So the first 4 of the first set, none of us, got sickle cell. But when it came down to Josh, he did indeed receive the actual disease. Some of us are carriers of traits, and some of us are not. So it's kind of that Punnett square sort of thing.
Yeah.
But no, like, nieces and nephews, or it didn't get passed down, or?
No, like, for example, I had children, and none of my children have sickle cell disease. But I have 3, so I didn't go for 4, but as of right now, no. Joshua right now is the only one.
Hold that thought. Sure. We're going to come right back, and we're going to talk to Josh. Welcome back to the Advocator. Once again, my name is Demetrius Parson. I am the host for today. And on today's show, we're talking about sickle cell, and we were just speaking on to the mother, Minister Collins, and we were talking to the sister Liz and how the family is affected. But now we want to talk to Josh, who's actually going through the disease, not by himself, because the family is very supportive. But I want to talk to Josh and, just ask how do you remember when you were young and you were going through like different crises? Can you share some of those crisis moments that you had, or?
Yes, I done had so many of them. So, but a few I can remember. I was outside, I try to play pickup football and basketball with everybody. Then my mom be like, "Yo, you gotta come in, don't hurt yourself." So I would end up
Overprotective mom, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's that worry.
Being me, I'm trying to play with everybody else.
Right.
So I continue to play, somehow get hurt by somebody falling on me or whatever, and it'll just turn from nothing into something.
Okay.
Like the pain would be something minor that you scrape your knee or whatever.
Okay.
And then it turns into a crisis. And the crisis pain, I don't know really how to explain it, but sometimes it could come straight on and I won't know. Or sometimes I can get little signs like the pain will start small, then it'll get greater, and then get sharper.
Okay.
So then at that point, it's time to go to the hospital. If my home meds can't do it, I know I gotta go. So
Wow.
it's very painful. It's debilitating
Yeah.
a lot of time, almost every time.
Okay. So what is it that how do you, you say you can't like play sports or anything, but what can you do?
Well, I bowl a lot.
You
so,
bowl a lot?
yeah.
Okay, all right.
good
You on the
bowler, too.
league?
Yes.
Okay,
I had to
so you're a
go-
good bowler if you're on the league.
Yes.
Okay.
I had to go to a non-contact sport.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Something you could do on your own.
Yeah.
What about church?
Oh, I'm a drummer.
You're a
at the
drummer,
church, yes.
so you can't get hurt there.
Yeah, nah.
Okay.
A little winded. That's about
Okay.
it.
Drums get hurt.
The drums get hurt.
Yeah, I make the skins feel my pain.
Okay,
so, yeah.
all right. So, but how is it now? Like, do you have to go through any surgeries or?
Well, as I was younger, it was a lot of more hospitalizations. But as I got older, I didn't go as frequent.
Okay.
But they did get worse.
Okay.
So, due to the sickle cell, I believe having my gallbladder removed, I had gallstones.
Okay.
So they had to take my gallbladder out.
Was that laser?
Yes.
Okay. I had
Yes.
that, so I know how.
3 small
Okay.
incisions, and they took it out.
Okay.
And then after that, I had to have my tonsils removed,
Okay.
my adenoids.
Okay.
And when I had my tonsils removed, I ended up having to be in the ICU.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the sickle cell wanted to take over. So ended up in the ICU for about 2 days, but then I recovered after that, and I was fine.
Okay. So, just those type of conditions, like, what about the transplant that you have to go through? Is that,
Yes, it was brought to my attention 5 years ago about having a bone marrow transplant.
but why now?
Because back then I wasn't too sure about the surgery.
Okay.
Like
You were
because
young.
yes, I've been dealing with sickle cell like my whole life, so I figure that if I switch from sickle cell to a bone marrow transplant, that's still I will still be sick.
Right.
So back then I felt as though that I can take the sickle cell for right now. And as I got older and every hospitalization got worse, and I had went to the hospital back in January,
Okay.
and I had a minor cold, something small, wintertime, the cold getting to the blood, typical. and I ended up having to go to the hospital. And while I was in the hospital, I had a crisis pain. That started to be okay. They took x-rays of my lungs, my heart and everything. Everything was fine. And then one day, they took an x-ray of my left lung, and it was white, which means it collapsed. So I had to be rushed to the ICU. And I had to stay in there for about 5 days, which is very tough.
Right.
Yeah, I think that was like you were in the hospital for what, 30 days?
Yeah, almost
That
a
particular
full month.
stay.
Wow.
Yeah, so after that, my doctor, she was like, she brought it back up to my attention. It's time to start thinking about getting a bone marrow transplant. And I still, of course, wanted to fight it because I went through January and I was, I'm okay. I work out and
Right.
stuff, so I just feel like it's time
Trying
now.
to live normal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
A normal life. Well, I've heard of a benefit that you guys gave. If Liz can share some of that information and what that's all about.
Sure. We actually did our kickoff event by Josh being a musician. He's a drummer. We decided to do something to celebrate what Josh likes to do.
Right.
And so on the 27th of June, we had a musical benefit for Josh. In which all of his musician friends from all over the city of Buffalo and surrounding areas were able to come to celebrate life. Not so much to celebrate the idea of him getting a transplant, but to celebrate his life and his transition into a better life.
Right.
And so that's really what the benefit was about. That's part of the reason, but benefits, of course, are to help to absorb the cost of services that have to be done as it relates to a
So
bone
insurance
transplant.
doesn't cover this?
Insurance covers a portion of it. It depends upon what type of insurance you have, but there are other things that need to be covered. Josh will not be able to work for at least a year.
Okay.
He'll have to go through chemo and do many medical procedures, and so during that time, we as a family, we want to be there to support him. As a
Right.
community, we want to support him because sickle cell not only affects Josh, it's a community, it affects people.
Right.
But as it relates to the benefit, we do these things to support Josh and to ease him into a better way of living.
Okay. Thank you for that information. We'll be right back. We're still talking about sickle cell, and we're just going to end it with the whole family. Okay? We'll be right back.
It greeted you at birth. It was there for your first step, your first mistake, your first kiss. It's with you when you win, when you lose, when you pick yourself up again. In every moment, you can feel it. Life. Human right number 3, the right to life. What are human rights? Find out at youthforhumanrights.org.
Welcome back to the Advocator. Once again, my name is Demetrius Parson, and I'm the host of the show for today. And we're talking to a family about sickle cell. And I just wanted to hear Josh, have a few more words to say of what he's going through. So, Josh?
Yeah, I also wanted to say that even with having sickle cell, you're gonna get that fight instinct in you, which will push you to do things that most people would think that you can't, but you really can. It's Ryan Clark. He's a safety for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He actually has the trait, but if any sports followers will know that Ryan Clark is a beast. He went to Denver to try to play, but since the altitude is so high, it's lower oxygen level, they had to rush him to the hospital, and he recovered well, and now he's still playing in the NFL. So I just want to tell everybody, don't let it get you down. Keep that same fight that you have to when you're getting sick to get better, to do other things in life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm about to say amen.
Yes.
Amen again.
Good. You have that fight. You have that I still want to go on, and this is not, unto death.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So as a family, as a whole, what's a good normal for you?
A good normal is just being able to be there for one another, to show love and support for one another. As a matter of fact, Josh's donor for his bone marrow transplant is his younger sister, Crystal.
Wow.
And she's a perfect match, and most of our children have been tested.
Okay.
She came back a perfect match, and she is indeed glad to be able to support him and to do that, as we all have supported him in any way that we can. We love Joshua, and we have a large family. I have 9 children. And we do what we can. Well, thank you, and God bless your heart. We do what we can to support each other, especially during times of crises. We need to know, and you need to know, everyone needs to know that there's someone there.
Right.
And most of all, we know that God is there.
Amen.
And he has always stood by our side. And even going through the bone marrow transplant, this is not something that should be taken lightly. It's not something that's offered at the first show of pain or first incident that happens. Josh has gone through many things. He's had brain aneurysms that the Lord healed him from. He lost sight in one of his eyes, and the Lord restored his sight. So he's gone through many things, but it's at a point in time now where the doctor says we don't want another life-threatening incident to happen. We need to do something and be proactive. So we know still that it is God.
It is.
Even
it
through
is.
a bone marrow transplant. It is yet God, and we're trusting and we're believing him that he's going to see us through.
Oh, yeah. He's going to get the glory out of this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so, Josh, what is it that you really want to, because you gave the testimony about the football player, but is there something you really want out of this? You really want people to really get?
Well, D, actually, I've taken the fireman exam, and I passed the written part.
See,
so,
that's what I'm talking about. You still going on?
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Oh, yeah.
I'm working out, getting
And
ready
what
for
number are you on the list?
Do you know
well,
your standard?
It's 4,000 that took it, and I'm 1,900.
Okay.
So
okay.
I'm getting
Good shot.
Yeah.
It's a 4-year list, so.
Yeah, I'm getting prepared for the physical
so still
part.
planning.
Yeah, life goes on. I think it's Josh has sickle cell, but sickle cell doesn't have Josh.
Right.
You know what I mean? Josh is a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He is. I love that about my brother.
He
He's
has
a
a
fighter.
name,
Right.
Joshua. He fought the battle of Jericho.
Yes,
and
yes.
he's fighting the battle against sickle cell.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Amen. Now, let's give out some information as
Sure.
far as if any other benefits are coming up, if you have a website you want us to go to, Facebook, give it all to us.
Okay, well, our Facebook page for Josh is www.facebook.com/ benefit for Josh Collins. Josh. His name is Joshua, but it's Josh Collins. And all donations can be made at any First Niagara bank. If you'd like to have, give donations towards Josh's treatment, it would be greatly appreciated. Just stay tuned to the Facebook page for upcoming events that we'll be having as the year progresses. So I welcome anybody in the community to come over and to celebrate life for Josh with us. And also stay tuned. I'll be posting to Josh's Facebook page different events that will happen in the near future in regards to the community with sickle cell anemia, and opening up a center for individuals within our community, because everyone needs to know that they're loved and supported, and there are doctors on board that do care.
Right.
So we have a lot of things coming up, and it just starts with Josh, but it's going to be a continuum.
Now, Josh, you play for the church, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what's the name of the church, and where's it located?
It is God's Tabernacle of Praise, and it's at 1787 Genesee Street, Buffalo, New York.
And who's the pastor?
The pastor is my father, overseer Lee Anthony Collins.
Amen.
Definitely put a plug in there.
We call it Club 1787.
Okay.
Yes, because we have an awesome time. God is in control. Amen.
Okay, so if you ever want to see Josh play the drums, you know where to go. 1787 Genesee Street. That's in Buffalo, New York, almost close to Bailey Street, right?
Yes.
I think I remember that place. So any information that you need about the, sickle cell trait or any details, you can always get in touch with the websites that she shared with us. It is a serious disease that everyone needs to know about. They're not just going through this by themselves, but I know that this is a community show, but we also want to know that God is able, to heal us every place that we hurt.
Yes.
So we will be praying for their family. We'll be praying for Joshua. We'll be praying for his sister that is going to be, also going under surgery. And so we just want to make sure that everybody is covered in prayer.
Yes.
But this is the Advocator. We thank you for listening and tuning in, and we'll see you on next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Goodbye.